everyone, my name's Justin Prince, and welcome back to Vancouver for episode 2 of our NBA 2K97 MyLeague. The Vancouver Grizzlies enter the episode 0-1 after a loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers to start things off 152-125 the final. Terrell Brandon scored 43 points in that game for Cleveland, with 59% shooting from the field from the Cavs. We look to try and secure our first victory on the road for 1996-97 with a road trip to Los Angeles, first to take on the Clippers or taking on the Lakers the next day. As we start things off against the Clippers, starting off in the first quarter, Shareef Abdul-Rahim misses the layup inside. After the Loy-Vaught rebound, fast break sets things up for the slam for Rodney Rogers inside. Moments later, on the fast break again, Derek Martin pulls up for three, drains the three to give the Clippers a 5-point advantage. Rogers sets up in the corner, drains a three for himself. By the end of the first quarter, the Clippers were on Flago. After a 22-7 run, Los Angeles led 48-21 after one. We did have some bright spots, however. George Lynch slams it on down. Then moments later, Greg Anthony finds Bryant Reeves inside with the footwork for the layup. That would lead us into our first Super Sim in series history as the Clippers continue to dominate all the way to the late fourth quarter. Kevin Duckworth inside double team traffic makes the layup over top of Reeves. Then seconds later, the rebound by Mobley sets up the fast break for the youngster of Aaron Williams for the bucket, but it was too much to handle. 139-100 the final as the Los Angeles Clippers bring the Vancouver Grizzlies to 0-2 in 96-97. That brings us to Game 2 of the trip to Los Angeles against the Lakers to the Great Western Forum at the other end of town. Starting things off, Greg Anthony pulls up for three and drains the triple, giving the Grizzlies a lead by one. Moments later, Eric Mobley spins past Nick Van Exel for the layup inside. Vancouver continued the momentum off throughout the early portions of the first. Shareef Abdul-Rahim cuts inside of the pick and roll for the slam. Then halfway through the quarter, interception picked up by Van Exel. Van Exel leads the Lakers all the way down the court for the fast break, and that would change the tone the rest of the quarter. Van Exel from the corner trains the triple off the pass. 15 seconds later, Eddie Jones slams it on in. Timeout called by Vancouver as the Los Angeles Lakers pulled away by 4. Up by 10 a few moments later, the onslaught continues. Byron Scott pulls up for three. That leads to the Super Sim, where in the end the Los Angeles Lakers dominate. 144-125 the final. In the game, Van Exel picked up 19 points in the first half alone, 37 points total, while Kobe Bryant, a youngster from the 96 draft, picked up 31 points. That brings us into today's featured game against the Portland Trail Blazers, led by Kenny Anderson and Arvydas Sabonis, as these two look to work together to secure a W. They also have a youngster in the name of Rasheed Wallace to watch for. But with that, it's time to hit the court. Vancouver, Portland. You're looking at the city on the rise, Portland, Oregon, with more than $10 billion in tech industry investments alone last year. It's Trailblazers taking on the Vancouver Grizzlies tonight on Grizzlies TV. The Trailblazers come into tonight 2-1, part because of these two. Kenny Anderson, 17 points per game, 8 assists per game in 3 games played. Arvydas Sabonis, his big man, 14 points, and 8 rebounds per game. Those two start alongside Stacey Augmon. On the Cliff Robinson and Rasheed Wallace. While for Vancouver, it's Greg Anthony, Anthony Peeler, George Lynch, Shareef Abdul-Rahim, and Bryant Reeves, the starting five. Just about all set to go for NBA basketball from Portland. We're underway from the Rose Garden. Justin Prince with you on JPS in association with TNT. As the Trailblazers look to try and keep their momentous start going. They start with a momentous layup inside. Anderson good. Anderson is signing into the offseason for the Portland Trailblazers in the 1994 All-Star, looking stellar to start this season. Vancouver not so much. Abdul-Rahim though starts off with a bucket. But the reason for that point is Last season started off with 2 victories and then a 19-game losing streak. Vancouver replicating some of those issues this season. Sabonis puts it up and in for the layup. Anderson with the assist. He picked up a double-double last time out. 21 points, 10 assists. Raheem sets up high post. 1 minute into the first quarter here in Portland. Guarded by Wallace, back outside to Peeler. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Off to Anthony for the 3. No good outside. Brought up by Anderson. Defense not able to keep up as Sabonis on the pick and roll gets it. And the multiple-time European MVP picking up the bucket. Justin Prince with you once more here on JPS in association with TNT for tonight's coverage of Grizzlies TV. Raheem, low post, try to take advantage of mismatch, gets blocked, second chance, up and good. Sheed Wallace not able to get the second stop there despite the swat on the first attempt. On the outside, Anderson gets the screen again. Ogman trying to open up some space. Anderson trying to size up some space. Ogman in the corner, down to 6 on the shot clock. Out to the middle of the key, back outside to Robinson. Backed out to Anderson, rejected for the shot clock violation. 9:57 to go in the first quarter of play, and as mentioned, Portland coming off a stellar last season as well. 44-38, third best in the West, in fact, before losing to the Utah Jazz 3-2 in the first round of the postseason. Anthony working with the screen. Abdul Rahim goes for the jump shot, no good. Abdul Rahim picks up the second chance. Reset of the shot clock. Back around to Anthony, going for the drive, inside, gets it. Greg Anthony, a slow start to the season. After the All-Star performance last campaign, still picks up the bucket there. Tied up at 6 in the opening 3 minutes of this one. Robert inside, Anderson over top, Reeves gets it. And Anderson is starting off red hot. A majority of the points have gone through Kenny Anderson so far. Reeves sets up for the pick and roll meanwhile. Swatted away by Anderson, out of bounds, Trailblazers basketball. Big Country, of course, talked about with his footwork, but also his hands by many scouts. His soft touch up at the rim. As driving by Reeves goes Anderson yet again. Keep an eye on Reeves and those hands throughout the season as they try and develop at the center spot. Moving to that spot after starting power forward position the past 2-3 games. Lynch, that first time starter this season, draws the contact. Go to the line to shoot 2. First free throw attempts of the evening. Jade Wallace picks up the personal. 10-6 the score with 8:32 to go in the first quarter. George Lynch came off the bench last time around. It came to Vancouver. 3.3 points per game, a slow start with 1.7 rebounds and assists per game, shooting just 41.7%. The opening portions of 96-97. Second free throw up and good. Both are good to bring the lead down to 2. Robinson takes the ball up himself this time. Guarded by Lynch. Off to Anderson. Sizing up Anthony. Going for the jump shot, rejected. Picked up by Reeves on the rebound. Anthony brings it up the middle. Off to the outside. Peeler. Peeler tries to get some space. Can't. Down to 12 on the shot clock. Anderson steps back. Looks for the reset. Off to Peeler. Peeler trying to find some separation. 2 gets stripped away by Ogman. Ogman leads them up the floor. Off to Anderson. Draws contact. He'll go to the line to shoot for 2. One of a couple players for the Portland Trailblazers, Anderson was, played for the FIBA World Championship team for the United States of America just about a few years ago in 1990. Former Georgia Tech guard. Makes both. 4-point lead. Anderson, one-on-one, gets the screen again. Goes for the pick and fade. Off to Peeler for three. Yes, he's got it. Anthony Peeler's been an Lego to start off this season. 15.7 points per game for the shooting guard. Sabonis for three in response. Can't get it. Robinson with the fresh shot clock. Tries to back up. Goes for the contested J. Can't get it to go. Tempo being picked up by Vancouver. Now slow back down by Anthony for the pick and roll. Reeves tries to cut. Anthony draws contact instead. Greg Anthony to the line to shoot for two. Greg Anthony talked about a hard-nosed defender. For those who watched the opening games of the season, has been bouncing back from a slow defensive start, being the first pick in the expansion draft last year. 12-12 now to score after the made free throws. As Robinson, jump shot, top of the key, gets it. Cliff Robinson, the former UConn Husky, picking up one of his first buckets of the night. Approaching halfway to the first quarter already here in Portland. Anthony trying to size up for more space. Draws the end one, and Anthony to the line to shoot one on the jumper. The bonus called for the personal. First substitutions of the night coming on in as a result of the personal, but Anthony can't complete the N1 sequence. Once those coming in, Gary Trent. Sees them now at the top. The Shack of the Mac, as Trent was once called back in college. Augment, jumper, good. And the three-time NABC Defensive Player of the Year makes the jump shot to give Portland back the advantage by two. Hayward, meanwhile, down low. Drives by him for the bucket. Good separation picked up by the former LA Laker. Augment, guarded by Peeler. In response, gets it. And a back-and-forth affair starting to erupt here at the Rose Garden Arena. Just past halfway in this one. Peeler off to Anthony. Gets some separation to the cup. Yes. Greg Anthony starting off stellarly. An and one and a couple made buckets in the lane for Anthony as the whistle called for the reach. Greg Anthony triggers the timeout, the first of the evening, with 5:39 to go in the first quarter. Tied at 18 here on GPS. Welcome back to Grizzlies TV. Tied up at 18 here in Portland as Rose Garden Arena is putting on a stellar night of NBA basketball. Inside, the jump shot no good from Jermaine O'Neal. The putback slammed in, Isaiah Ryder. Ryder picked up from the Minnesota Timberwolves, slamming it on down. Gives Portland back the 2-point advantage. Floor for Vancouver. Lynch lined up alongside Mobley. Rogers, Peeler, Mayberry, now the 5. Outside, Mobley, off to Lynch. Down to 3 in the shot clock. Back to Peeler, going for the contested 3, rims out. Robinson picking up the rebound, over to Anderson for the fast break. Going for the floater, gets it. Kenny Anderson continues to bring bucket after bucket for Portland. Already up to double-digit scoring. Meanwhile, Peeler off to Mayberry. Thought about a 3, doesn't take it. Now goes down low. Mobley gets poked loose by Trent. Mobley caught for the reach with 4:39 to go. Second free throw attempt for Ryder, up and good. Former UNLV big man with the buckets at the stripe. 2 minutes to go in the first. 8-point lead for Portland, their largest of the game. Moden gets blocked in the first attempt. Second chance off the side of the backboard. Here comes the other end for Portland. They'll go to the line to shoot two. It is Ramil Robinson.
2 shots. 5. Elbow. 2.
Jamaican-born guard making the first of 2 free throws. The journeyman that's bounced back and forth between the CBA and the NBA. And Now gives Portland their first double-digit lead of the night. 6 free throws, 6 makes for Portland. Vancouver just 3 for 5. Mobley, pick and roll, slams it in with the right hand. And Mobley, who had started off with 3 consecutive starts to the center spot, keeping up the momentum despite the bench roll. Poked loose by Moden. Ryder still with it. Ryder with a lot of separation gets it. Ryder with the slam stuff. The former slam dunk champion. Around the inside it goes. Lou Edwards off to Mobley. Back to Mayberry. 1 minute to work with in the first quarter. The drive inside. Can't get it to go. Rebound picked up by Chris Dudley. Fast break for Ryder for 3. Pulling up, yes. And the Trailblazers starting to trail a path of domination to end the first. Vancouver starting to become ice cold from the field. And a charge called against Mayberry, his 3rd personal already. And Mayberry's night not going well whatsoever at the point guard spot. It looks like Stu Jackson keeping in the backup point guard, however. Moden on the defense. Caught for the reach. 39.8 seconds to go in the first. That is over the limit, mind you, as now Ryder misses the first of 2. Former Big East Player of the Year and a first team All-Rookie. 14-point lead for the Trailblazers. Moden gives it off to Rogers. One-on-one in the low post, goes for one pump, tries to bounce it in, can't get the lucky bounce. Rookie Jermaine O'Neal with the rebound. Ryder cuts in, back off to Robinson, down to Dudley, rejected by Mobley. Shot clock is off for the remainder of the first quarter. Will they try and go for the quick shot or go for 2? Looking like they may go for 2. Down to 7, and now they have no option. Edwards stepping out of bounds. Turnover on back. Augment coming in for Cliff Robinson to give Robinson a breather. Next 7 seconds. Neil Robinson. Last shot of the quarter. Contested 3. Doesn't drop. After 1 quarter of play, the Portland Trailblazers in control. 38-24 here on Grizzlies TV. Back with more in just a bit here from Rose Garden Arena in Portland. Tonight's coverage of NBA basketball is brought to you by JP Tells. Back for more Grizzlies TV, where the Trailblazers in control, leading by 14 after 12 minutes of play. Vancouver had started off well offensively, before slipping in the final 2.5 minutes of the frame. They're ready with the ball to start off the second quarter. Mayberry, Mobley, Moden. That's the starting 5, along with Edwards and Rogers. Moden gives it off to Mayberry. Setting up the play. Moden, the intended man, stolen away by Augment. Now Robinson goes for the jumper in transition, gets it. And everything is coming up Portland so far this quarter, and so far the past 5 minutes is the better term. Mayberry to Edwards. Looking to cut left, back off to Mayberry. Still cutting left again. Defense setting up down low. Edwards looking for separation. Steps back, down to 2. Down to 1 of the shot clock. Mayberry out of time. That's a shot clock violation. More substitutions coming in. Mayberry coming out of the game along with Rogers and Mobley. That brings in Anthony Abdul-Rahim and Reeves. Moden and Edwards staying in. About 1 minute into the second quarter of play here in Portland. Sabonis cuts on in. Reeves on the defense. Over top. Second chance. It's good. Dudley. And Dudley, the former Yale basketball player, with the putback that time. Abdul-Rahim pick and fade meanwhile. Thought about a jumper. Thinks better of it. Goes into guard against Ryder. Going for the hook. Gets it. And so far, the rookie Abdul Rahim has been stellar. 18 points per game. True shooting percentage of 67% for the big man from California, Berkeley. Picked up on the rebound by Anthony meanwhile. Looking for Abdul Rahim. Gets it for the stop. Abdul Rahim continues the stellar start to 96-97 with another 2 points rattled on in. Vancouver starting to show a bit of a spark. Check that. The triple drops from Portland. Wide open. 2 minutes into the second quarter, Trailblazers lead by 17. Poke loose from Edwards. Abdul Rahim still setting the screen. Edwards takes it in. Can't get it to go off the front of the rim. Robinson trying to pick up the tempo yet again. He's hit a few transition buckets. Dudley rejected this time by Reeves. Here comes Edwards up the middle. Off to Moden to Abdul Rahim off the bounce. Goes inside the traffic, rejected. Moden the putback gets it. Big East all-time leading scorer with the right-hand hook. Puts it up and in. 15 points still the lead for the Trailblazers, however. I've been trying to find space off the ball. Given off to Ryder. 7 on the shot clock. Down the baseline. Off the pump. No good. Moden the rebound again. Anthony off to Edwards. Back off to Anthony. Moden trying to find space outside of the key. Going inside for the jumper. No good. Abdul Rahim second chance. Draws contact. Goes to the line to shoot for 2. And the second, no good. 4:30 to go in the second. 55-47. Vancouver continuing to build momentum since their strong start to the second. Mayberry nearly stolen back. Abdul Rahim gets it. Off to Lynch, back over to Peeler. Screen set. Abdul Rahim setting up Peeler for the long 3. Can't get it. Second chance and the shot clock reset picked up. Reeves hits the back of the backboard and can't get it to go. A quiet night for Bryant Reeves, who scored 14 points per game entering tonight. Four minutes to work with in this first half of play. O'Neal, the 17th pick in the draft, guarded by Big Country, gets by Big Country. And a very significant storyline when it comes to O'Neal. A 1996 All-American at the high school level in both the Parade and McDonald's All-American. And also the South Carolina Mr. Basketball before electing to go straight to the pros. Straight to the cup, Abdul Rahim. 8 points still the difference once more. Vancouver has started to hit a bit of a rhythm lately of being stuck in these patterns of scoring, such as this. 8 to 10 points it's gone back and forth at for the past few minutes. Kenny Anderson continuing the strong performance with that last bucket. Peeler speeds into the lane, draws contact, goes to the line to shoot for 2. And of course, Anthony Peeler from Kansas City, Missouri, the 3rd all-time leading scorer at Missouri when he graduated there. Was 19th in three-point percentage in 95-96 and brings Vancouver back now within 8. Back to 10. Another drive for Anderson. Anderson's got 14 minutes and 21 points in that span. Mayberry off to Rogers. Down low. Gets it. And a quiet rookie campaign for the big man and Rogers. Late first-round pick. Long jumper, no good from Portland. Peeler has it stripped away. Here comes Anderson after the steal from Wallace. Defense can't catch up to him, and it's good. Kenny Anderson with 23 points in the half so far. Mayberry gives it off to Peeler. Vancouver has it stripped away again. Robinson this time with the steal off the pass. The 10th turnover for the Grizzlies this half. Ryder Forces Peeler to jump. Gets the first step. Lynch steals it away. Vancouver in response tries to go on the fast break. Slow back down for Peeler up the top. Yes! And Anthony Peeler with another three. He broke the rookie record, remember, for the Lakers, like just a few years ago. In response, Anderson again. Anderson is unstoppable tonight. Under 90 seconds to go in the first half. Blocked down low as Rogers. Second chance, Mobley, no good. Third chance, yes, it's good for the N1. This time picking up the personal down low, O'Neal. As Mayberry, Peeler, and Lynch all will get a chance to switch around with Peeler, Moden, and Edwards. Free throw is good. Man who tied the blocks record last season at Alabama. 266 career blocks at that school. NCAA. Cliff Robinson. Getting a few visits, bumping and bangings. Now over to O'Neal. Running out of time of the shot clock. Ryder hits the three with the pressure on. The gap's up to 67-59, 8-point lead. Mobley again setting up a screen up towards the top, off to Peeler. Peeler off to Moden. Moden gives it off to Edwards this time. Has a mismatch on size. Moden goes back to him instead. Back to Peeler. Three in the shot clock. Peeler back to Moden. For a long three, doesn't get it to go. Sabonis picks up the rebound. Shot clock is now with the difference of about 1 second. Nearly stripped away down low. Mobley gets it. Rogers takes the fast break. Goes for the dunk with the right hand. And this lead was as high as about 17 points, remember, by Portland. Final 6 seconds down to 3. Sabonis, tough defense, draws contact. Tries to draw the N1, instead will go to the line to shoot 2. Chance to extend the gap up to 8 at the stripe. When it comes to Sabonis, he's won the Eurocar Award a few times already since coming over to the NBA just about a season or so ago. Stellar player for Lithuania as the second one draws. End the quarter. No. And at halftime, the Portland Trailblazers hold on to an 8-point lead over the Vancouver Grizzlies. 69-61 the score. You're watching JPS in association with TNT. Welcome back to Portland, where the Trailblazers lead by 8 over your Grizzlies. Trailblazers so far tonight, 62% from the field. Meanwhile, Vancouver out-rebounding Portland by 5. Starting off the third quarter of play, starting fives back on the floor. Reeves, Raheem, Lynch, Anthony, and Peeler. Anderson, Sabonis, Wallace, Robinson, and Augment. Starting off with a mismatch. Big Country, yes! Big Country with 8 points so far this game. 4 for 5 from the field. Down low, Wallace in response. Contested, no good. Moved up by Anthony. Over to Peeler. Thought about the three in transition, doesn't take it. Anthony down low, goes for the pump, goes for the bucket. And Vancouver, the closest they've now been since leading earlier in this one. They're back within 4. Anderson going for a pushback on Anthony. Anthony smothering. Going for the switch. Instead, going for the three. Doesn't go. Reeves picks up another rebound on the night. Moved along the outside for Peeler. Peeler sets up the play for Vancouver. Anthony tries to scatter for space, gets the ball. Reeves sets up the high screen. Lynch moving to the corner. Reeves the second screen. Down to Lynch in the corner, down to 1. Reeves, long jumper, gets it. And despite the intriguing-looking jump shot formation when it comes to Reeves, it's been talked about by some, including Shaquille O'Neal, that jumper is deadly. Shaq has called Reeves in the past one of the toughest players to battle against. Reeves tries to get the rejection, can't get it this time on the floater. Anderson with 27 points this game so far tonight. Reeves on the pick and roll to start. Peeler, three-pointer, back rim. Moved up by Anderson on the tempo. Down low, Anderson keeps it, yes. Now you see me, now you see the points. 2 minutes into this third quarter of play, 73-67 Portland. Anderson to Abdul-Rahim, contested jumper, yes. Abdul-Rahim having to rattle on in. That mid-range jumper talked about at the start of the season. Something to watch for throughout the rookie campaign on top of the post moves. Isolation for Anderson, still in formation. Now double teamed, Abdul-Rahim with the rebound. Still with the advantage, Vancouver rebounding offensively. They've picked up 11 boards so far tonight. Lynch off to Reeves. Down low, trying to pump once, can't get the bounce. Robinson with the rebound. Cliff Robinson brings it on up. 9 minutes to go in the third. Down low again, it's good. Cliff Robinson. Portland starting to build some momentum now in this third. Abdul-Rahim gets it to go. What a difficult shot for Abdul-Rahim with a man in his face. Anderson that time. The back and forth pendulum swinging, starting to go from 4 to 6 points. Reeves nearly gets it swatted away. Now steals it away from Sabonis. Anderson watches as Anthony hits it in his face. Vancouver back within 2. Robinson sets the screen, called an illegal screen. Cliff Robinson called for his first personal. And Vancouver now with a chance for the tie, if not the lead, this possession. Reeves gets it. Guarded by Trent. Anthony up top again. Movement now on the outside. Contested long jumper doesn't draw. Ogden with the rebound this time. Pushes the tempo back up for Portland. It's worked so many times tonight for the Trailblazers. Ogden back and forth to Trent. Now over. Ramil Robinson going for the hook. No. Brought back up the floor. It's stolen away by Rasheed Wallace. The Robinsons go to work. Cliff goes out of bounds. Stepping on the line, trying to speed to the baseline. And substitutions aboard for Portland. Ogden to small forward. Ryder now into the game as Cliff Robinson comes out. 7:33 to go in the third. 75-73 here on JPS in association with TNT. Reeves down low, ties in at 75. Reeves has picked up 6 points this quarter. Back inside in response, Trent, yes. And the former Ohio Bobcat gives Portland back the advantage. Over to Peeler. Back over to Reeves on the outside, still for Anthony. Anthony off to Abdul-Rahim. Going to back up with no one on his back. Misses regardless. A weird shot for Abdul-Rahim. Ryder cuts back around, cuts in, gets a man to fall. Wallace gets a man to pump. He drops it in. And Rasheed Wallace, the fourth pick from 1995's draft, giving Portland the 4-point advantage. Down low, Abdul-Rahim in response. Yes. Back and forth once again we go. Multiple substitutions waiting at the scorer's table. Ryder tries to set up top to Trent. Over to Ogden. Trying to alley-oop it to nobody. Lynch with the steal. Peeler in response down the floor. Ties it again at 79. And another bad possession for the Trailblazers. Things starting to spiral. as they make their way over towards the bench side. Reeves tries to go defensive, can't get to it. 81-79, timeout called Vancouver as they look to break the back and forth spell. Welcome back to the Rose Garden, where the Trailblazers lead 81-79 for the Vancouver Grizzlies. 5:40 to go here in this third quarter. Full bench in for Vancouver: Mayberry, Mobley, Moden, Rogers, and Edwards, the 5. Rogers, high post, gives it off to Moden. Calls for some movement with Mobley. Gets the screen, pops, locks, hits. And long 2 is the call. They say Moden may have had a very tippy toe at the edge of the three-point line. 5:10 to work with in this third quarter. We've gone back and forth all throughout this third quarter. Portland led by as much as 17. They get the lead back with the dunk from Trent. The other end, Mobley sets up another screen. Mayberry trying to draw contact, can't get it. And Robinson brings it on up. Started this time by Blue. Blue Edwards puts the hands up, tries to get the chase, gets no rebound from it. Ryder with the second chance, gives it off to Trent. Robinson again. Fader, yes. Vancouver starting to slow down their tempo compared to earlier tonight. Mayberry, contested jumper, still gets it to go. And a tough shot for Mayberry. Despite all of this, Portland still shooting 62%. Vancouver has had to bump up their shooting percentage to more than 50% to get to this position. Reach and called against Moden, his second first-team foul of the quarter. More substitutions as Ogman and Trent. See things shuffle for them. Trent to small forward, O'Neal in at power forward. Over to O'Neal. Contested jumper, doesn't drop. Dudley, second chance, ripped out of the air by Rogers. Quickly moved up to Edwards. Baseline J. Can't get the lucky roll to tie it back up at 85. Portland still up by 2 as a result. Ramil Robinson. Watches Ryder get to work. Robinson, open 3, gets it to go. Yes, he's got it. And Portland starting to cook with gas. A 5-0 run in the past 2 minutes. Edwards to break the run, can't get it. Portland steps on the line. Quick substitution by Portland, changing point guard to Anderson. Mayberry off the inbound, no. Moved up for Ryder. 2 defenders back for Vancouver, poked away as Mobley gets the steal. Moved up for Moden. Moden contested, tries to draw contact, can't get the whistle. Dudley again the rebound, O'Neal gives it off to Anderson. Avoids the double team. Dudley fakes the pass. Ball on the shot clock. Back outside O'Neal. Back over to Anderson. Bounced over to Ryder. 5 on the shot clock. Moving forward, Ryder slams it in. And a 7-0 run for the Portland Trailblazers. Ryder with 18 points this game. Mayberry, pick and roll, Mobley to break the run, can't get it. Dudley with the block. Ryder has it poked loose. Moved up to Trent. Avoids one reach. Ryder back over Mayberry with the pump. Moden with the help. Can't get it to force the full miss. Dudley gets the N1 in turn. And O'Neal with a chance to extend the lead to 10. Does so with the second free throw. 190 the score with less than 30 seconds to go in the third. Here on Grizzlies TV. Moden 3 up top. No. Shot clock is off the remainder of this third quarter. Poked loose again by Rogers. Pass over to Edwards. The time to work with Moden. Gets the screen for help. Takes the 3. Misses the 3. Last shot of the quarter, Ryder, half court, doesn't drop, and Portland goes from a tie back to a 10-point lead. 190 the score after 3 quarters of play here from Portland. The next time Grizzlies TV can be seen coast to coast is for the Battle for Canada. Toronto, Vancouver, November the 24th, 7 p.m. Pacific time as part of TNT's doubleheader coverage. Be sure to tune in. Underway for the start of the 4th quarter. And a quick reach by Mayberry as Vancouver picked up a lot of steam in that 3rd quarter after closing up a double-digit deficit. But now Portland leading by 10 after a strong run to end the quarter. Robinson avoids a couple reaches, guarded by Blue Edwards. Ryder guarded by Moden. Isolation for the paint. Easy drive. No good, though. Too much defense. Mayberry brings it up to Abdul Rahim. Contested layup, no good. Second chance, Rogers good with the left hand, right hand. 8-point advantage for the Portland Trailblazers, looking to move to 3-1 in the season. Vancouver potentially could drop to 0-4 if they can't close. Mayberry, jumper in transition, no. Moden rejected from behind. O'Neal with the rebound. O'Neal avoids a couple different reach-ins. Ryder forces a pump, steps back, blocked by Rogers. Second chance, Cliff Robinson can't go. Third chance, Sabonis right there for the taking. Arvydas Sabonis, very quiet run for the 1995-96 first-team All-Rookie. Yes, you heard that right, rookie. Moden, no good. Second chance picked up for the reset. Abdul Rahim goes high post down to low post. Over to Mayberry. Kick back to Edwards, taking a 3 himself, no good. Mayberry, third chance put back of the rim, no good. Tempo picked up once more by Portland. Ryder wide open outside the arc, can't get it a splash. Sabonis called for the loose ball foul. It's 4th personal. As now back in the game, Pure, Anthony, as well as Lynch. Also coming in, O'Neal substituted out for Rasheed Wallace. Wallace guarding Abdul Rahim, forces the first miss. Second chance opportunity in traffic. Draws contact, Abdul Rahim to the line to shoot 2. Mentioned Sharif Abdul Rahim's abilities down low. Draws the double, draws the foul. Now to the line, shoot 2. First one's good. Vancouver looking to bounce back after a rough start from the free throw line this season. As the second does fall. 8-point lead, 102-94. 2 minutes in, stolen away by Pure. Pure takes a jumper, wide open, gets it. And all of a sudden, Vancouver is coming. 18 points off turnover, 16 by Portland. Anderson draws contact, and now he'll go to the line to shoot for 2. Abdul Rahim there for the contact. 30 points now for Anderson on the first make. And Anderson's been near untouchable since this game started. Reeves coming in. Anderson putting the ball into the cup for 31 points on the evening. 104-96 now, the advantage for Portland. Abdul Rahim, guarded by Wallace. Isolation. Everybody's on the other end of the floor besides them. Abdul Rahim takes advantage for the bucket. 28 points for the rookie. Almost all of them have come right at the cup. Anderson tries to go to the cup in turn. Gives it off to Wallace. Rejected by Reeves. Here comes Anthony. Down low, Reeves contested. Can't get it. Anderson zips back in response, gets it. Past Anthony and easy to the cup. Bueller. Screen set up top, pick and fade with Abdul Rahim. Instead goes to Anthony. Anthony back to Peeler. The guards on the right side of the court, forwards on the left side. Anthony cuts to that left side, down to 2 on the shot clock. Abdul-Rahim puts it in again. He's got 30. Sharif Abdul-Rahim starting to catch up and starting to get on fire for Vancouver. Ogman in response steps back, Long J can't get it. Moved up for Anthony. Contested jumper transition, can't take advantage. Trying to take a page out of Portland's book. Robinson zipping by Lynch under the cup, yes. Cliff Robinson from the edge of the mark to the cup. Peeler stripped away by Sabonis. Anderson off and away, open for the bucket. And the gap back up to 10. Approaching halfway through the fourth quarter. Anderson draws the whistle on himself as Anthony going to the line. Second free throw good, down to the final 4 minutes. Approaching here on Grizzlies TV. 120-109 the score for Portland. Anderson again, this time misses. Reeves forcing the miss. And we're off to Abdul-Rahim. Vancouver in pressing mode. Screen set up top, Peeler cuts in. Draws contact, Rasheed Wallace. Called for his 5th and he's not happy. Wallace trying to get pulled back by Sabonis, just avoids the technical. And Peeler hits the first of 2. In turn, Peeler with 3 steals this game. 16 points now for his credit. The gap back down to 9. Anderson trying to find more separation. Spins by one defender. Passes off to another. Off to Wallace. Jumper mid-range. Rims it out. And Portland starting to get a little bit cold. Reeves watches. Peeler gets it. Off to Reeves. Back to Anthony. Play being set up. Abdul-Rahim up top. 6 on the shot clock. Reeves coming to help. Abdul-Rahim open in the lane. Gets it for the dunk. 34 points for the rookie. Ogman gives it off to Cliff Robinson. Back of the rim, no good. 6 consecutive points for Vancouver now. And the crowd starting to get into it. Poke loose from Anthony, stolen away as Anthony called for his 4th personal, and that's their last foul to give. Next one puts Portland in the bonus. Ogman gives it off to Anderson. Anderson looking to break some hearts. Yes! And a 9-point lead for the Portland Trailblazers. Vancouver needing a response. One screen by Reeves. Goes down to Reeves. Guarded by Sabonis. Separation. Rejected by Sabonis. Here comes Cliff Robinson. Anderson up top slows the pace. Sabonis. 1-on-1. Draws the reach. Reeves called for the personal, and that's the foul to give. Now, Sabonis to the line to shoot 2, with Portland in the bonus. Both free throws drop. Portland now up by 11 with 2:12 to go, and that may be a bit insurmountable. Will that be the case? Stolen away by Anderson. Looking for the dagger. Gives it off to Wallace. And he'll go to the stripe to shoot for 2. Anderson, a stellar night. Adds to it more than 40 points. Portland pulling away late after Vancouver several charges to get back into the ball game. Chris Robinson, no good from outside. Second chance, Moden, no good. As Wingfield gets the rebound. But for the Portland Trailblazers, they'll get a chance to just about dribble this clock down. Anderson takes the bucket instead, wanting to add to the tallies. Vancouver looking for one final shot. Robinson takes a shot, no good. The Portland Trailblazers beat Vancouver 134-115, the final here in Portland. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage here on JPS in association with TNT. We'll see you next time for Grizzlies TV. And a rough finish to this one as our Vancouver Grizzlies had a chance to win it several times, in fact, tonight. And take control, we couldn't. After getting outscored in 3 of the 4 quarters and leading still, regardless, a couple of them. 58% shooting for the Trailblazers, 45% for the Grizzlies in the matchup. The turnovers really added up in this one, and so did, in turn, the fouls, +8. With that, I'd like to thank you for tuning in for today's episode of our Vancouver Grizzlies MyLeague. See you next time here from Vancouver.